Hi guys, recently I made this Korean prawn and spring onion pancake and it was so delicious and really straightforward too. I served it with a few banchan or side dishes because every Korean meal needs a few. I should also have served rice, but I really wasn't bothered that day. The prawns are really naturally sweet, as are the spring onions when they're cooked long enough that the crispy, salty, lightly spicy batter really complements them. Start off by julienning a carrot and toss it up with about a half a teaspoon of salt before setting aside to loosen out. Now do the same with about the same weight of cucumber, just slice it into thin half moon shapes, toss it up with a half a teaspoon of salt and let it loosen out while you get on with the rest of the cooking. Make the batter first by adding 120 grams of flour to a bowl, followed by 200 milliliters of water, half a teaspoon of honey. Next, some gochugaru or Korean chili flakes. These have such a unique flavour and I'm just going to add 1 teaspoon here, but add more if you love chili heat. Then I added just a little bit of doenjang, which is fermented bean paste, a bit like Korean miso, and just a generous teaspoon of it. Now mix them all together until you have a nice, even, smooth, incorporated consistency. Now take a really good bunch of washed spring onions, I have about 16 here, and remove the roots and the tatty green parts. Then line them all up and halve them down the middle. Now place a clean frying pan over a high heat and add a couple of tablespoons of vegetable oil. I'm using rapeseed oil here. Once the oil is hot, go ahead and pile in the spring onions and carefully arrange them so that they're in a nice neat rectangle. Let them cook for about a minute over a high heat, then turn the heat down to medium and place the king prawns on top of the spring onions. I'm using 10 raw prawns here that have been deveined. Next, pour over the thick spiced batter and try to push it into itself so it keeps its original rectangular shape. I then cooked this for about 5 minutes until the edges were golden and crispy and the bottom was just coming away from the pan before I flipped it in one swift movement to keep it all in place. I then gave it another 5 minutes over a medium heat before I took it off the heat and served up. First, drain off the water that's run out of the carrots and add them to a small bowl. Do the same with the salted cucumber and add some kimchi to a small bowl too. This is homemade kimchi and Koreans have it with every meal, and the easiest way to do it is just to snip it into the bowl just like this. I'll put the link to my video recipe in the description below. Now try to get the pancake onto a serving plate in one piece. If you don't succeed like I didn't, it doesn't really matter too much. Just try to pat it back into shape and it'll be fine. Then just portion it out. This will easily and generously serve 2, but it could even stretch to 3, I think, no problem. Then just dig in as best you can with chopsticks or knife and fork if you prefer. That's what I should have done because I think that any Korean or Asian person watching this would just be really offended by my chopstick skills or lack thereof. Thanks a million for watching, guys. I hope you liked this video. If you did, be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons below. You can check me out on social media if you like. You'll find all the links to my accounts in the description, as well as the link to my blog where you'll find this full recipe at www.rookiecook.org.